So recently it has come to my attention that HelloFresh, the food box delivery business that brings convenience to your doorstep so that you can save a trip to the grocery store, has a lot of issues going on right now. So employees, specifically in Colorado and California, are attempting to unionize because they are fighting back against unsafe working conditions, overworking, trying to increase productivity at the cost of the individual's physical health, blaming accidents, which, I mean, they're called accidents because nobody wants to do them on purpose, right? Blaming accidents on the employee and not taking accountability or taking precautions to make sure that the working environment is a safer place. Coming from someone who has worked for a place that focused more on productivity, it's not that the workers aren't cleaning the area, it's that they probably don't have time to. A lot of people are like, oh, they're slipping on stuff, isn't that your fault? Okay, well, here. Whenever productivity is being pushed, a lot of the time, upper management will encourage taking shortcuts, cutting corners, or making it so that you just do not have the time to make sure that your work area is a safe place to work in. And this causes more accidents. You can say what you want about that, fine, I don't care. That isn't the point of this video. The point is that these workers feel like their time is being wasted. They're not making enough money working here and breaking every bone in their body to do so. They want to unionize and have better regulations, safer work environment, better pay. The problem with this is that HelloFresh is doing everything within its power to stop this unionization. Like all big corporations, they decide that instead of spending more money on their employees, they're going to instead spend money on a person to come over and give them weekly or bi-weekly meetings about how unionization is dangerous for the company. So HelloFresh is attempting to stop unionization in these two areas where people are trying really hard to unionize. In my personal opinion, I'm all for it. They should be allowed to unionize if they want. I think that power should belong to the worker. Yes, if you have a company, the goal is to make profits and be profitable. But also, your goal as a company is to provide a service. If nobody wants that service anymore, then you're not going to make profit anyway. A lot of other services are being outmoded because they're not being used anymore. People don't want what they're selling, or maybe because there's a better alternative that just costs less. And I'm not here to talk about the cost efficiency of HelloFresh. I know it's part of their whole thing that you can save a trip to the grocery store, but let's be honest here. The cost of those boxes probably add up quite a bit. But if you like convenience and you like having a different variety of foods, which, to be fair, if you were to buy that variety would probably still cost you a lot, then it's probably a good service meant for you. The issue here is, though, with HelloFresh kind of being the way it's being, I wouldn't want to support it until it starts treating its workers right. Here it says, on Tuesday, Unite Here, the National Hospitality and Service Industry Union, filed a petition with the National Labor Relations Board asking to authorize a vote by workers at the kitchen factory in Aurora, Colorado. HelloFresh workers at the Richmond, California facility in the Bay Area are signing up for the union in droves, according to Unite Here. We're struggling financially. There are a lot of people who don't know how to meet income requirements to rent apartments. If HelloFresh workers vote to unionize, they would be the first in the booming meal kit industry, which includes Blue Apron, Sunbasket, and Martha and Marley Spoon. We want to break the cycle that so many of us at HelloFresh are under. It's a cycle of low-paying work and having to work back-to-back jobs. We believe that having a union will change things. Now that the economy is open and people are getting new jobs, we're low-staffed. We have 4 people on the line doing double the work. HelloFresh workers in Aurora and Richmond say anti-union consultants have visited and held mandatory anti-union meetings in recent days. On Monday, we went to one of these meetings, and the consultant that HelloFresh hired goes on to say unions are bad and manipulate and lie to you. On June 16th, an unmoored several hundred-pound pallet full of plastic bins fell approximately 25 feet onto 4 workers in Aurora, trapping them and seriously injuring 2 workers, sending them to an ambulance in the hospital for treatment. Workers say this is the 4th time a pallet had fallen in 4 months because they weren't secured with brackets or ropes. Which goes back to what I was saying. A lot of the times, it's all about cutting corners and doing stuff as fast as humanly possible. Accidents happen because people just don't have the time to worry about safety procedures and stuff like that, or it slips their mind, or they forget it, or they get distracted in the middle of doing stuff like that because they get called away to be on the production line and be productive and keep adding productivity. And when I see stuff like this, where 2 people are doing the work of 4 people, that just adds to the problem. It's all about productivity and cutting down on manpower and then trying to make up for that lack of manpower by giving one person the job of 3 or more. And it's insane. It's ridiculous. And you don't just see it here with HelloFresh. You see it everywhere. People have been talking about this with Amazon. Tesla is having issues right now. Tesla is already making me mad for other reasons, but when it comes to warehouse stuff like this, with Amazon, with HelloFresh, Tesla, you name it, and you see it in grocery stores too. Walmart, for example, they keep cutting jobs, they keep forcing people to do more work that would normally be attributed to another person, and then when they finally give people raises, they say stuff like, oh, well, now you have to earn it because now we're going to give you more work. And it's like, no. By all rights, this pay raise should accommodate me for all the work I've already been doing. And it just goes on and on and on like that. These corporations are more interested in spending money to preserve their profits than actually paying the people who make them. That's ridiculous. Why on earth would you, a company, not just pay your workers? You could spend the same amount of money that you spend on consultants to just pay your workers. You could pay the same amount of money that you use to bribe politicians with to find more loopholes for you to exploit, to just pay your employees. Just pay them. So the end of this rant is, large companies should just pay their employees. They should, yes, worry about productivity, but in reasonable ways. Like, make sure that the quotas that you've had as your standard don't mysteriously double within a couple of months' time and force people to work themselves to death. Maybe don't do that. If you're so worried about unionization, maybe have enough incentive to work there in the first place that people don't want to bail on you or want to unionize. And if people do want to unionize, be cool with that. I feel like more power should go to the employees. The employer already holds more than enough power. That power dynamic already exists. To give the employees just a little bit more power would probably even out that balance. But that's a thing that employers are afraid of, because that means that all their profits that they like seeing skyrocket have to plateau at some point, and they're afraid of that plateau. And it has nothing to do with the success of the business. Like I said before, services that exist are there because it fulfills a need that people actually have. HelloFresh would not be nearly as successful as it is today if it weren't for the need that it provides for. People just don't like a grocery shop. That's perfectly fine. And I am not saying not to use the service. The service as it stands is a good one. And their commitment to trying to use recycled materials and all that and cut down on waste and carbon footprint, that's nice. That's commendable. I think that that's a noble cause. Doesn't excuse them for being bad employers. It's good for a company to care about our environment. Our environment is how we are going to continue to live generation to generation to generation. What's not okay, though, is continuing this vicious cycle of treating your employees like crap. The final statement of this article says, HelloFresh workers came to us and we responded. A German company has come to the United States and set up factories and made enormous profits, became the pandemic profiteer, and workers came to us because of health and safety issues. We want to organize workers in our industry who are being exploited and don't have a say on the job. This is not the first or the last time. We know that many companies that promote progressive ideas have a problem and will fight workers tooth and nail in order to keep a union out. So there it is. Like I said, it's not just HelloFresh that's doing this. You can see it in your local grocery store. Walmart's doing it. Amazon's been doing it. Tesla, there's particular instances where a certain someone has said something along the lines of, oh yeah, I would unionize if they wanted to, but no one's expressed any interest. All while doing things that ruin the lives of people who express interest in the idea. So I'm just going to end things there. HelloFresh is the new contestant of companies that want to do dirty to their employees. I thought highly of them at one point, but now, not so much. It just goes to show that sometimes some things are just too good to be true. The more successful a business gets, the more in danger it is of being a terrible place to work for, because apparently the employees mean nothing for the sake of profits. Go figure. That's the world we live in, and I'd like to see a better world. So, take this rant how you will. I'm just sick and tired of seeing companies like this grow big and not be thankful for the workers that made all their profits possible. HelloFresh, you could do amazing things, and the money that you're making could help a lot of people who generate that profit for you. And the meals that you make and provide for people could go a long way to making the world a better place. So just do your part and do right by your employees. And you could probably be one of the best places to work for and one of the best services available. If not, you can suffer and be exactly like Amazon and all those other places that really suck to work at and just be horrible. Good service, bad employer.